Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast. We are finally here. The aftermath, the catharsis, the moment it all pays off.
We are covering Chapter 94, the second, and the first thing we see isn't a victory cheer, but a man declaring to the world who his family is.
Luffy stands on the rubble of Arlong's throne and just screams it for everyone to hear. Nami, you are my friend. It's everything. It's the whole reason he was there. If you've been waiting for Nami to finally, truly join the crew, you know someone who needs this story in their life. Send this episode to them. This is the moment it all begins.
It is. So let's break down how a tyrant's fortress becomes a friend's promise.
Let's do it. So the chapter opens with absolute chaos. Arlong Park isn't just damaged, it's annihilated. Luffy's final gum-gum battle axe didn't just break the floor, it brought the whole tower down on Arlong's head. Rubble is flying everywhere.
It's important to linger on the sheer scale of this destruction for a moment. This isn't just a cracked wall or a broken pillar. The central tower of Arlong Park, the symbol of his power and oppression, has been pancaked. It has ceased to exist. Oda draws it with such kinetic energy, you can almost feel the ground shake.
It's the most destructive feat we've seen from Luffy by a country mile. Think about it. Against Morgan, he broke a fence. Against Buggy, it was a few buildings in town. With Krieg, he smashed up part of the Barati, which he felt bad about. This is different. This was targeted demolition. He looked at the room where Nami suffered for 8 years and said, this can't exist anymore. He didn't just beat the man, he erased his legacy from the island's skyline.
A very precise observation. He destroyed the map room, the instrument of Nami's pain, and in doing so, brought down the entire monument to Arlong's ego. And in a perfect moment of characterization, Zoro, who was sleeping peacefully at the base of the tower, gets clonked on the head by a piece of the building and just grumbles, "What was that?"
The man slept through a castle exploding, after getting slashed nearly in half by Mihawk. His durability is just on another level. He's less of a human and more of a natural disaster with swords. It's so funny, but it's also a testament to his trust in Luffy. He has zero doubt his captain will handle it, so he might as well get some rest. I mean, he probably lost a lot of blood. A lot of blood.
It is a profound statement of trust, isn't it? He doesn't need to be awake and worrying. He knows the outcome is assured. It's a great little beat of humor before the tension ramps back up. Because outside, the villagers are just staring at the wreckage. They don't know what happened. They're terrified. Did Arlong win? Is Luffy gone?
You can feel their fear. 8 years of oppression, and their one glimmer of hope is buried under a mountain of stone. The silence must have been deafening. They were so ready to charge in and die fighting, and now, nothing. Imagine being Nojiko or Genzo in that moment, that horrifying pause where you think you've just lost everything all over again.
Oda uses negative space and silent panels so effectively here. You see dozens of faces, all drawn with wide, fearful eyes, staring into a cloud of dust. For them, that dust cloud is a Schrodinger's box. Inside is either their freedom or their final doom. The tension is palpable. And then a figure climbs out of the smoke and dust.
It's Luffy. He's beaten up, he's exhausted, but he's standing. He's not even looking at them. He's looking for one person. And he looks right at Nami.
She's standing apart from the crowd, holding her injured shoulder. She looks just as uncertain as the rest of them. And then he opens his mouth.
This is it. This is the core of the entire arc. He doesn't say, I won. He doesn't say, Arlong is defeated. He makes it personal. He shouts, Nami, you are my friend. And the way Oda draws the whole island reacting, it's just a wave of pure emotion. The speech bubble itself is huge, breaking the panel borders. It's not a sentence, it's a sound wave of pure emotion that washes over everyone.
In Japanese, he's shouting, Omae wa ore no nakama da, which friend doesn't quite capture. It's closer to companion, comrade, crewmate. It's a declaration of belonging to his tribe. It's the ultimate answer to Arlong's philosophy.
Exactly. He's not claiming her as his property, he's claiming her as his family. He's telling the whole world, this person belongs with me, and if you mess with her, you mess with me. And after 8 years of being seen as Arlong's property, Arlong's tool, hearing that must have been like the sun coming out for the first time.
And Nami's response is so quiet, so perfect. She just whispers, yeah, that's all she can manage, because it's not about the victory over Arlong. It's about her being accepted, being claimed, not as a tool or a subordinate, but as a friend, as Nakama. That one whispered word carries the weight of a decade of suffering finally being lifted.
Oh man, and then you see Sanji with a goofy, heart-eyed grin. Usopp is weeping with joy and relief. Zoro just has this satisfied smirk on his face. They did it. They came here for their navigator and they got her. The mission is complete. Exactly. It's the direct answer to her begging him to help. He didn't just come to fight for her. He came to bring her home. And now the crew is all there. Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, they're not celebrating a battle, they're celebrating getting their navigator back.
This moment solidifies the entire ethos of the crew. They don't fight for treasure or territory, they fight for each other. That's their strength. Arlong could never understand that. His crew was built on fear and racial supremacy. He thought his bonds were superior because they were based on a shared fishman identity. But Luffy's crew, a hodgepodge of humans with completely different dreams, is bound by something far stronger: absolute loyalty and mutual respect. Arlong's castle of cards built on hate just got blown over by a gust of love.
You said it. And then the party starts. Cocoyasi Village just erupts. They're free. After 8 long, miserable years, they are finally free. The celebration is immediate and overwhelming. They're lifting Luffy up, cheering, crying. It's pure, uncut catharsis. The party they've been waiting 8 years to have.
But of course, the world doesn't just let people be happy. The system that allowed Arlong to fester is still in place. Just as the celebration reaches its peak, a shadow falls over the proceedings.
This guy. Just as everyone is celebrating, Marine Captain Nezumi strolls back in with his cronies. He has the nerve to thank them for the entertaining show. He's literally a rat-faced man. Oda is not subtle about this, and he acts exactly like one. He hid while there was danger, and now that the cat's away, the rat has come out to play.
And then he makes his move. He declares that since Arlong is gone, all the treasure Arlong extorted from the villagers now belongs to the world government. By law. He presents it as a simple, bureaucratic procedure. This is just how it is. It's the chilling, casual evil of a corrupt system.
The sheer audacity. He's the one who was taking bribes from Arlong this whole time. He let this happen. He was an active participant in their suffering. And now he's trying to profit from their liberation? No way. Not on Luffy's watch. He's trying to use the law to commit the exact same crime Arlong did, stealing from these people.
This is a really important moment. It's the first time the story explicitly shows us that the enemy isn't just pirates. The enemy is corruption. The enemy is injustice. And sometimes it wears a uniform and quotes regulations. We saw a hint of it with Captain Morgan, but he was more of a deranged tyrant. Nezumi is worse in a way. He's the banal, greedy, systemic evil that allows monsters like Arlong to thrive.
You can see the villagers just deflate. They just got their freedom, and now the Marines are here to steal the money Nami worked her entire life to save? It's the ultimate out of the frying pan into the fire moment. But then Zoro steps up. He just calmly says, "Get lost."
He doesn't even raise his voice. It's so menacing. He's covered in bandages, leaning on his swords like canes, and he's still the most intimidating person there. It's a beautiful distillation of his character. He doesn't need to shout. His presence is threat enough.
And Nezumi, like a complete idiot, orders his men to shoot them. That's when the whole crew just unleashes on them. It's not even a fight. It's a beatdown. Usopp, Sanji, Zoro, Luffy, they just dismantle these corrupt Marines in seconds. It's a full-on team combo move. It's glorious. It's the first time we see them all fight together as a truly united crew against a common enemy.
And the best part is Nami's role in it. Throughout the chaos, she's had a quiet intensity. She watches her friends defend her and her home, and you can see a decision solidifying on her face.
Ah, it's perfect. She walks up to Luffy, who is still being carried by the villagers. She takes the straw hat from him, this incredibly precious treasure he entrusted to her, and she gently places it back on his head. It's a quiet thank you. It's the symbol of their trust, finally returned to its rightful owner. The contract is fulfilled. And then she turns around
and just wallops Nezumi, a solid crack right to the jaw with her bow staff. She demands her money back, not just the money he's trying to take now, but all of it, the money he enabled Arlong to steal from her for years. She's not asking, she's telling.
This is her catharsis. She's not a victim hiding behind a smile anymore. She's not tricking people to survive. She's fighting back, openly and fiercely, against the man who represents the system that failed her. It's such a powerful character moment. For 8 years, she fought in the shadows, stealing from pirates. Now she's standing in the sun, taking what's hers from a corrupt official, with her family at her back.
It is. She's no longer just the Straw Hat's navigator. She's a Straw Hat pirate. She's fighting for her own justice now, alongside her friends. She looks so powerful in that panel, standing over the growling Marine. It's the culmination of her entire journey, from a helpless child to a woman in control of her own destiny.
Nezumi scurries away screaming about how they'll all be wanted criminals, which, is probably not the threat he thinks it is. Luffy's just like, bye, they don't care. And then the party really, really starts. 3 days and 3 nights of feasting and drinking. Just pure, unadulterated joy.
But there's a quieter scene mixed in with the celebration, a necessary coda to the emotional arc. We see Nami, Nojiko, and Genzo. They're not at the party, they're at Belmer's grave.
Yeah, that hit hard. It's so important that Oda included this. The victory would feel hollow without this moment of remembrance. They're reporting in. They're telling her that it's over, that her daughters are safe and free. Genzo pours a drink on her grave. It's a reminder of what this was all for. The fight wasn't just against Arlong. It was for Belmer's memory, for her sacrifice to mean something.
It brings the emotional arc to a perfect close. The Tangerine Grove, Belmer's final legacy, is in the background. It's a scene about legacy, memory, and the continuation of life. And as they walk away from the grave back towards the celebration, we see a close-up on Genzo's hat. He doesn't have the pinwheel on it anymore.
Whoa, I didn't even catch that. Holy cow, you're right. Why did he take it off?
He put it there to make Nami smile when she was a child after Belmer died. He told her it was a magic spell to stop her from crying. He kept it there all those years, a constant, silent promise to protect her and bring her joy. Now that she's genuinely happy, surrounded by people who make her laugh, and free to pursue her own dream, he doesn't need it anymore. His job is done. Nami has found her own magic.
That's classic Oda, a tiny visual detail that carries years of emotional weight. It's not even mentioned in the dialogue. He just trusts the reader to see it and understand. That's just, brilliant. And speaking of weight, we cut to Dr. Nako treating Zoro.
Who is, of course, screaming in agony as his wounds are being stitched up, but still trying to play it cool. He's yelling, "Shut up, I'm not in pain," while tears stream from his eyes.
The contrast is hilarious. He can sleep through a building collapse, but can't handle stitches. It's such a humanizing moment for this absolute monster of a man. But this leads to a super important line from Luffy. He's watching all this and just casually says, "We need a doctor."
And then he adds, "And a musician would be nice too."
He's already looking ahead. We just finished this massive emotional arc, secured our navigator, and Luffy's immediate thought is about the next crew members. That's our captain, always moving forward. He has his 4 crewmates, fulfilling his desire from Chapter 1, and now he's already expanding his vision for the perfect crew.
Okay, but think about what this means for the crew's identity. A doctor is a practical necessity, especially with the way they fight. They almost lost Zoro after his duel with Mihawk, and they've all been patched up by Nami or village doctors. A dedicated physician is a logical next step for survival. But a musician? That's not about survival. That's about quality of life. It's about joy and art and having a good time on the journey. It says so much about what Luffy values in his kingdom.
It's not just about being the strongest, it's about being the freest and having the most fun. That's the heart of it. A doctor to keep them alive, and a musician to make life worth living. It's perfect. He's not building an army, he's building a traveling family, and he wants that family to have songs to sing while they sail towards their dreams. A ship needs more than just fighters and a navigator. It needs a soul. It needs art. It needs care. It needs a super shipwright eventually, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's a beautiful sentiment. It also serves as a direct signpost for the audience. Oda is essentially telling us, these are the next 2 roles we need to fill. He's planting the seeds for future adventures. But while Luffy is dreaming of the future, Nami's past is catching up with them in an official capacity. The world is already starting to push back.
We cut to Nezumi, who has made it back to the Marine 16th branch base, and he is furious.
He's so petty. He's not angry because justice was thwarted. He's not filing a report about a dangerous pirate crew that took down a massive threat in the East Blittle. He's angry because his wallet and his pride were hurt. He's literally holding a bag of ice to his jaw where Nami hit him, and he decides to take it out on Luffy.
He contacts Marine headquarters, and this is the first time we see it, this massive, imposing fortress. It immediately expands the scale of the world. We're not just dealing with branch captains in a small sea anymore. This is the heart of the world government's military power. The architecture itself, with the Japanese-style roofs and the giant Marine sign, is designed to inspire awe and fear.
And we get the first proper appearance of the Dendenmushi, the transponder snails, the iconic communication method of the One Piece world. I love how Oda just drops these huge world-building elements in so casually. They're snails, but they're also phones, and they mimic the user's facial expressions. It's so weird and so brilliant. It's one of those things that when you first see it, you know you're reading something special.
Nezumi uses his Dendenmushi, which has his rat-like features, to send them a crudely drawn picture of Luffy. He's requesting a bounty be placed on Monkey D. Luffy's head. He specifically tells them to put him on the wanted list. He lies through his teeth, framing it as an attack on the Marines and a theft of their rightful treasure, completely omitting Arlong's involvement.
This is the turning point. Up until now, Luffy has been a problem for guys like Morgan and Nezumi, corrupt, small-time local authorities. He was just a blip on the radar. Now, he's about to become an enemy of the world government. He's going on the board. He's graduating from local troublemaker to internationally recognized threat.
And it's not because he defeated powerful pirates like Krieg or Arlong. The Marines are happy to ignore that. In fact, Nezumi's report makes it sound like Luffy stole treasure that the Marines had come to rightfully claim. The true crime, the one that gets headquarters' attention, is that he punched a Marine captain. He defied their authority. That's the crime they can't forgive. They can tolerate a pirate tyrant ruling an island through bribery, but they cannot tolerate someone openly defying their banner.
He didn't just break a man, he broke the system's illusion of control. And for that, they're going to make him infamous. This is the start of his legend, for real this time. The dawn is here, bro. The world is about to learn the name Monkey D. Luffy.
It really is. Before we get to predictions, I also wanted to mention Oda's author comment for the week.
Oh yeah, what was it?
He just wrote in all caps that he went to see Star Wars Episode 1 and was in 7th heaven. He said, "Good job, Star Wars."
That's awesome. You can feel the energy. A master storyteller geeking out about another epic story. It makes sense. The themes of destiny, fighting a corrupt empire, a chosen one, it all fits. You can see how one epic would inspire another. Plus, 1999 was just a wild time for pop culture.
It's just a fun little peek behind the curtain. Even the greats are just fans at heart, getting excited about the same things we do. It's a nice reminder of the person behind this incredible story.
Totally. What a chapter to end on. The resolution, the catharsis, and the setup for the entire rest of the world opening up. Just super.
It's the end of the beginning. The East Blue Saga is effectively concluded. Now the real journey starts.
For sure. If you've got your own thoughts on what Luffy's first bounty might be, or who you think the crew's doctor will be, let us know in the comments. We read all of them and love hearing what you guys are thinking.
Okay, predictions for Chapter 95. What do you have?
Alright, I've got 2. First, I think we are absolutely going to see Luffy's first wanted poster. We'll see the picture Nezumi sent, and more importantly, we'll see the bounty amount. I predict it's going to be way higher than anyone in the East Blue expects, probably higher than Arlong's even, which was 20 million. The world government is going to make an example of him for attacking one of their own. It's going to cause a huge stir.
That feels inevitable. A tangible consequence for his actions. It's the official start of his notoriety. What's your second?
My second prediction is that we're going to get the official farewell from Cocoyasi Village, a proper send-off. Not just sneaking away in the night like they did from Syrup Village. The whole town will be there at the docks to see Nami and the Straw Hats off on their journey to the Grand Line. It'll be Genzo and Nojiko and Dr. Nako, everyone. A big, emotional, tearful goodbye, but happy tears this time.
I like that. A mirror to the quiet, desperate departure from Usopp's village. This one will be loud and celebratory, a true hero send-off for the whole crew. Okay, my turn.
Hit me with it.
My first prediction is that we'll see a reaction to Luffy's new bounty from someone important we've already met. The bounty posters are distributed worldwide, after all. I'm thinking either Mihawk gets the paper while he's chilling on a spooky island and he raises an eyebrow at the name of the boy Zoro swore allegiance to, or maybe we see a brief check-in with a character like Garp at Marine HQ. He's been mentioned, we know he's a big deal. A bounty on a Monkey D might just catch his eye, someone who understands the significance of that name.
Ooh, connecting the threads already. I love it. That would be so cool to see the ripples of his actions spreading across the world. What else?
Second, I predict Nami will take her rightful place at the helm, not just as the navigator, but as the one charting their real course. We'll get a triumphant scene on the Going Merry where she unrolls a massive, beautiful map, perhaps one of her own making, points to the looming shape of Reverse Mountain and says, "That's where we're going, to the Grand Line." It'll be the first time she's using her cartography skills for her own dream, not to buy her village's freedom. A truly symbolic moment of her starting her new life.
Yes, that's the perfect final beat for her arc here, taking control of her own map. I can see it now, the whole crew gathered around her, looking at the path to the greatest sea in the world. Man, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Me neither. The East Blue is officially behind them. The Grand Line awaits.
And we'll be here to break it all down. A huge thanks to everyone for listening. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next episode. This is Inherited Dawn, signing off.
Until next time.